What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy, Go Black to Africa. So, I'm sitting here with a sister here that has really surprised me and what she's got going on in Africa. African-American sister. African now sister, not even American. Before we get into really the you and your business adventure in the trucking industry in the country of Sierra Leone, please introduce yourself and what are you doing here in Ghana?
My name is Shay and I am a traveling African. So I actually recently lost a job that I was working for 2 years in Niger, and I was terminated, and I have a few projects going on here in Ghana, so I came down to Ghana to look over those projects and supervise those projects and make sure they're getting taken care of. So that's what I'm doing here right now.
Don't be bashful. You can speak up if you want now. Niger.
Yes.
Was that like a government job or something, or?
I've been doing government contracting, military contracting for the last 16 years or so.
Oh, okay, okay. So, what brought you to Ghana, or Africa rather? You live here now, right? Or you're just traveling through?
I'm a floating nomad. Like I really don't have a residence anymore. I don't have anything, at all tying me to the United States anymore. And trying to find my place to settle here in West Africa while enjoying the rest of the continent. So what brought me here? Originally, it was the kind of the call for the year of return that the president of Ghana kind of put out. And I had made some connections at a previous job. I was in Kuwait for a while, and one of my coworkers there, he invited me to come to Ghana with him. So upon taking on that invitation, I decided that I wanted to retire on the continent. So
okay, retire. From the job industry, or your entrepreneur, or just you got like that? You said, I'm done with work. I'm retired.
I told myself when I turned 40, I was going to be finished working. So whatever.
So you got 10 more years to go then?
Yes.
Okay. So
no, actually, I turned 40 2020.
Wow.
And,
I would have never guessed your age. I would not have.
And a lot of pieces of the puzzle fell into place, and I acquired the job that brought me to the continent right around that time, and it's kind of like the rest is history. So when I took that job, it put me on the continent. So from that job, I started moving around, from country to country. So
losing that job, that would set you a course of going out and traveling Africa? Or were you traveling it already?
I was traveling with the job.
Traveling with the job, okay,
so
all right.
The job had multiple locations, and I was an IT manager for the company, so we have to go to those sites and manage those sites.
Okay.
And so moving around with them a little bit, and then after the termination, I've since moved around as well.
You know what's so amazing is that the people I meet who have gotten fired, terminated, whatever, from their jobs, whether it was COVID, they lost their jobs, it pushed them into their rightful place where they should be in life. And this termination seemed like it, one, you got you into this business of trucking. Have you have a background in trucking?
No background whatsoever. I never thought that I'd be involved in logistics at all, or any type of transportation. And since being on the continent, and since moving around, you kind of learn or see what's needed.
Yeah.
In transportation and trucking and moving things around. It's like a bigger business than I thought it would be. And my partner introduced me to it, and it's been bringing in, you know how people say they want those multiple streams of income?
Yeah.
So, you know, since I've retired and I have a little bit of funds, you know, available to me, but doing that, you know, kind of,
funds, yeah.
doing that, you know, is one of those streams of incomes that I've never thought that I'd be getting into, so.
You know, I did a video, oh, sorry, not to cut you off. Was you finished? Or?
I was going to say, and it was just something that I didn't think of.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, coming to the continent, you kind of have a picture of what you want to do, and, you know, getting here, it opened up my eyes to different opportunities.
Okay. Now, trucking, no background, no affiliation with it. You know, the days presented itself of opportunity by your partner now, who introduced you to the whole thing. How did it all come about? I mean, you know, as far as you got some trucks in Sierra Leone, and you didn't know anything about their business and all that right there. So was your partner more into that there in that country, or it was an opportunity that fell upon you all, or what?
One of the things, and I try to make, you know, people see kind of like a big picture.
Yeah.
One of the things that brought it about was the need was there, and the partner didn't have the means to establish the business.
Okay.
So in me connecting with that person, they already had all the connections, you know, all of the they had the network built for the trucks, but they just didn't have the means to get the truck. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm like, well, I don't know anything about trucking. I want to invest. You know what I mean? I want to have, you know, an income stream. Yeah. So why don't I help this, you know, local citizen out? Yeah. You know, versus just coming and trying to do my own thing, or like I said earlier, what I think that I need to do in Africa. And it just so happened that he needed some investment, and I had that
finances.
Yeah. I had that available, you know, those available funds, and now I have, you know, an additional stream of income.
Beautiful. Now, you share with me that you all shipped trucks from the Netherlands.
The Netherlands
and Belgium. And this is the connection you said he had, was able to acquire really trucks at a cheap cost compared to, I know, like American off, and able to get them shipped, and having also connections maybe at ports and stuff like that, on down to getting contracts and stuff. You know, I share with people that coming to Africa, sometimes connecting with the locals can benefit you too as well. And so in some countries you have to do business with the local to save being taken advantage of by foreigners who come in and kind of move you out the way and keep all the money. So you're going to get a lot of calls, because I did a video on starting a trucking company in Tanzania, and I showed the truck. The truck was about $70,000, and it was a brand new truck, and this was a dump truck though. They call them tippers, yeah. And I think that video's at 200-something thousand, and I could not believe the amount of people who were interested, trying to inquire about starting a truck business, or these truck drivers that trying to get things going. You're gonna get a lot of calls. Now, when you say you did your business, you got your business going and all that right there. Sierra Leone, you're in a different country. Was it challenging, hard, or whatever, or to get it established? Or that was your partner's side, having all that taken care of?
I would say it makes life much easier when you network and make those connections. Yeah. So it wasn't hard at all. Yeah. It was kind of like a family affair. There's, you know, family involved in the situation, but as far as establishing the business.
Yeah.
It was just registering the company.
Okay.
And then we had a connection in the trucking industry there in Sierra Leone, and they got us all of the, the licenses, tags. You know how you have to have the, like the transportation logos and tags and the numbers on the side of your vehicles and things like that. So he walked us through that process and got all of those stickers and all of those, general goods and all that stuff. Almost like put together like a package. Yeah. And it was very easy. It was easier than I thought. But had I tried to do it myself, I would have been lost. And a lot of it was like, oh, come over here to my office, and my office was, in a car, you know what I mean? That type of situation. So a lot of what we would think is unorthodox, but it was very, very, very smooth because we had the right connections. And one thing that I did to kind of protect myself was make sure that everything I did, I demanded a receipt. Okay. I demanded a receipt because it's not customary to do receipts and things like that. A lot of things are, handwritten, you know what I mean, word of mouth. So I demanded every single step of the way that I had a receipt, so that made them feel accountable, as well as, me being able to account for, every part of the transaction. So it wasn't hard, but it was different. Okay. You can't just go to this agency office. You can't just go to, the DOT. You know what I mean? There's a lot of moving pieces, and because we had that network, already in place, it moved very smoothly.
Now, I was surprised that, you did a lot of research, and I'm quite sure you can answer those questions when people reach out to you as far as how did you acquire, where did you go to acquire the truck and all that right there. But you said you got truck for like $5,000. Some of these trucks were like just $5,000, please.
It was the trucks were $6,500.
$6,500, okay.
For the head units, they were MAN TGA 400 series. They were older vehicles, but they were in very good condition, and they had less than 1 million miles on them. So
I wouldn't consider a 2006, right? You said one of them is. That's not old to me for a truck.
A 2004.
And a 2004.
Right.
Okay.
And they were in very, very, very good condition.
Yeah. $6,500.
$6,500, and the tails, I have a 40-footer and a 20-footer.
Flatbeds,
Yes, and one was $3,500 and the other one was $4,000. So you got away with two trucks for under $15,000. Right, and I did a lot of combing, because when we first started looking, everything was like you could find a head that was over $13,000. So I just kept scouring, and there's a lot of language barrier because I was looking in Europe for my vehicles. So it could have been the Netherlands, or it could have been Sweden, or so I had to deal with that aspect of it. So layer after layer after layer of languages, but I was like, I wanted to make sure my total truck was going to be less than $10,000.
Wow. And of course you have contacts there in Netherlands and stuff like that. So there you go again, contacts is important. And now you surprised me here, because I'm just giving some dollar amounts, because not to try to tell the financial business, but the shipping wasn't even all that expensive that I thought. It would probably be, you're shipping over 2 trucks and you said a couple vehicles, and it was like $11,000, you said, to ship from Belgium on over to Sierra Leone.
In less than 2 weeks.
In less than 2 weeks.
I was highly surprised about that. I thought it was going to take me, because you do international shipping and it's like, oh, it's going to take you a month, it's going to take you 3 months, it might take you 5 months. And I was like, I don't want this to be like a long drawn out, my books are on the ship, I don't know where they are, We finished the packing of the vehicles, and we did roll on, roll off, which is a little bit cheaper than containerizing things. And we finished November 15th, and we got got our trucks the first week of December.
Wow.
The first week of December, they pulled up to Sierra Leone, Hawaii.
From the start of doing the numbers, the idea of getting the trucks, how long did it take from the beginning to the end? How much time did it take to get the business up and running?
My trucks were on the road in less than 2 months.
So the idea of doing trucking business, and of course, but your contacts are very important. I mean, because that takes a lot of the time away that you have to wait and all that, everything. So about 2 months, your truck was up and running.
Not from the idea, but from the decision to go. From the decision to say, yes, I want to do it.
Okay, yeah.
To, we got these trucks here on the road was 2 months.
Okay.
I mean, the decision to do it was, you know, like a back and forth, you know, discussions. But from the time I said, yeah, let's go, let's get started, it was like, it was about 2 months.
Okay. Is there anything else that you maybe want to bring awareness to people in doing business in Africa? Any lessons learned? You know, I always tell people, do your research. You know, you got to make sure you have reliable sources. You said you made sure that you have receipts and all that. Is there anything that you would share with someone if they want to go in this business? Not just necessarily trucking, but lessons that you've learned.
The 3 things that I learned, and you know, I mentioned not being in logistics or trucking or anything like that. The 3 things that I learned is you have to learn the language of the business as it relates to where you are. So, for instance, when we first got our trucks into Sierra Leone, we had to do a lot of, you know, just the basic maintenance to get them ready for the road.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, do we have a mechanic? Where's the mechanic? Where's the mechanic? And they're like, we don't have mechanics. We have fitters. And I'm like, what is a fitter? You know what I mean?
Mechanic.
So,
yeah.
So they kept saying fitter, fitter, fitter. And I'm like, what's a fitter? And, you know, so you have to, you know, learn the language learn the motion and the language of the country that you're going to, because what may work and what the language is, and I'm not talking about language as far as speaking, but you know, the common terms.
We call dump truck, they call them tippers.
Right.
If you call in a business in Africa and say, y'all have any dump trucks, and they're gonna be like, we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Tippers.
Learn the language of the area that you're in.
Okay.
Because how it may be characterized or spoken of in Ghana may be different from how it may be characterized or spoken of in Sierra Leone or in Gambia. You know, it's not all the same. It's not all common in those different places. The other thing that I learned, the most important, like I said in the beginning, was the network. And making sure the network is going to protect you. Like, you know, they have your best interest in mind. They're not trying to make money off of your situation. They want, you know, everybody to benefit from the situation. So make sure your network is a local network and they know what's going on, so that you can have eyes in different places, or, you know, ears in different places to know what the climate is like in the business. So, like I shared with you earlier about the changing of the port ownership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I travel a lot, so I wouldn't have known that. You know, so make sure your network, you know, understands the business and understands, you know, that they have your best interest in mind.
Yeah.
And the other thing I say is, you know, don't be afraid to work with the locals. A lot of people, like I said, they come with their own mindset. They come with their diasporan mind, you know, thinking this is how business is going to go. I've been driving trucks for 15 years. I know how to do it. And you get here and it's a totally different, you know, playing field. Like, one of the things, a friend of mine, he does trucking in the States. And he was asking about, you know, how it works out here. And one of the things that he could not get over is support vehicles. So if your truck goes down en route, you blow a tire, you blow a transmission, you know, something happens to where you're disabled. They don't have, you know, networks of support vehicles for those big trucks like that.
Okay.
So he was very shook on the idea of, you know, well, how do I maintain my vehicles while they're on the road? And I'm like, that's something that you have to get used to out here. These guys, hopefully your team on that truck, because I have 2 people on each truck. Okay. You know what I mean? They understand how to maintain the vehicle. They have to understand how to maintain the vehicle, whether it's, you know, breaking down the tires, you know, changing, you know, fluids as necessary, things of that nature. Otherwise, you're going to be without a load, you know, so.
That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff.
Just understanding how, taking time to understand how things work, you know, in the environment that you want to do business, and not trying to take it on from the DS4 mindset. Okay. Like come and network, be open to what the local personnel have to say to you so that you can be productive.
Well, great. You know, I was like very excited when I had met her, and I tell you, she was the first woman that I knew who had such a business like that. And I thought it would be quite interesting for people to see that not only men are in those type of, I guess, masculine jobs, they would call it, but we have women out here doing different things too. Sisters coming over in Africa doing great things, and I love to come across the various stories that, you know, what might have been impossible being in America to do a business, you can come to Africa and easily do it.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but that was one of the things that, as I got further into the trucking thing here, I thought to myself, like, the cost of one truck, you know, just like, say for instance, insurance for one truck in the States, you know, even if I did have the idea to want to do it in the States, I wouldn't have had that amount of capital to get started, you know what I mean, in the States without doing loans or something like that. Whereas here, you know, the opportunity availed itself, and I had, you know, some funds saved up, and now I'm in a business that I never thought I would be in, you know.
Save your money, people. Save your money. I cannot say that enough. Save your money and put it towards a business that's going to give you a residual income. Stop buying all them expensive cars and them juries and all that there. So, in saying that, though, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your world, your life, what you got going on here with the rest of our people out there in the diaspora. And I'm going to say this right here, you know, never ever shortchange yourself in ideas of what might you be interested in or what you hate. Because the very thing that you might hate may be the very thing that could bring you what you're looking for. And so I want to just put that out there. You have any other closing words?
Just be open to opportunity, and just be open to befriending local people. Don't feel apprehensive about it, especially if you have interests. Share those interests with locals, because they may have information about that space that you may not be aware of. And just be open to mingling and getting to know and networking with local people, because they know, you know, what they need in their environment, and they can help you make better decisions with what you're interested in.
Yeah. Good thing. I tell you some good words. Well, anyway, family, this is your man. This is your
lady.
Go black to Africa. Alrighty.